Hey, this is Dennis Vaughn here with Veteran AI, and today we're going to go over how to create a Nexus letter. Okay, so first things first, I believe in being very open and transparent. For the vast majority of people, you do not need a Nexus letter. Second thing is you can always ask your doctor to go and create a doctor's note instead of a formalized Nexus letter. But if you do want a Nexus letter, we by all means do have them. The one big point that I want to make known to every single solitary veteran is that you need some sort of medical provider to sign off on the Nexus letter. You, the veteran, cannot sign off on a Nexus. I don't care what anybody or any other company says. Okay, so here I am on the PTSD disability, and we're going to scroll all the way over to the Nexus tab. Now, if you're on the phone, you can use your finger and you can scroll over with your finger till you see Nexus and go ahead and click that. You're going to see this button here that says Start New Nexus Letter. If you do not have a requirement met, like either you haven't generated a statement or you don't have a diagnosis in, you're going to have to do that before creating a Nexus letter. I kind of pre-gamed this so that way we'd be able to highlight that point to everybody. So in this case, it's saying, hey, you need to create a diagnosis. So I'm going to go back over here real quick, and I'm going to update this again so it does reflect that there is a diagnosis. And then the only other thing I want to highlight here, because we have seen some people do some things, unexpected things here, is this is the diagnosis. This is not a yes/no field. This is not a time field. This is not a status code field. This is your actual, diagnosis. So go ahead, hit Save Changes, come back here, and you can hit Start New Nexus Letter. So we're going to go through a little bit of the process, then I'm going to show you with the one that was already developed. So you can hit Start, and the first thing it's going to do is actually look at basically other conditions that you may have that could also cause traumatic injuries, basically, or mental health problems. And it's very important. We actually consulted with one of the best attorneys out there from the VA, and he was very adamant that the counter conditions are what a lot of veterans end up getting denied for because, for example, you could have some sort of traumatic brain injury, and that could cause a personality change, for example. That could cause PTSD, or at least the symptoms of PTSD. So it's very important if you do have any of these right here, you select them because basically what's going to happen is the AI is going to go out and try to argue why your military experience in this case was more likely than your traumatic brain injury. Okay, so it's very, very important. Everybody understands that. We're going to go ahead and kind of get out of that for now, just because it does take a while to create a Nexus letter. So here we create basically a draft Nexus letter for your doctor to sign off. And I think it's best if we go ahead and download it. So it gets downloaded into a Word doc, and that is intentional because, again, this is something that your doctor should sign off, not you. Okay, so now that it's downloaded, this is what you can see. And yeah, obviously we have our disclaimer right there, but we have more importantly than that, the actual instructions for your healthcare provider. And again, a lot of these things we again consulted with, I would say, probably the one of the top VA attorneys out there for sure. And again, a lot of this advice comes directly from them. So thank you a lot if you're watching for the help creating this. You can see here, this is what you really are looking for. So if your medical provider wants to say more, say less, they can obviously use this verbiage here. We give some additional legal precedents, not for actual inclusion into the document, but to basically put your healthcare provider's mind at ease. This is a case where it basically says, hey, the VA is not going to come after a doctor as long as they're 50% sure. That's good enough by the VA standards. And again, that's what the language is so important. You can see here is the draft statement or draft Nexus letter. And all the highlighted portions are, again, something the doctor needs to review. They need to review and agree with this. They need to review and agree with this. They definitely need to review and agree with this because at this time we still do not have your medical records. We are working very hard so that way we can eventually get access to those and be able to generate even more useful Nexus letters for you. But for now, this is something the doctor needs to do. This is something that the AI will generate a general blurb, but your doctor needs to review. The medical analysis is basically our bread and butter. So you can see here, this right here, these are real citations. I will basically copy this, and we'll go look at that later. So that way you can see that this is actually being pulled from real journal articles. And again, this is made 100% unique for you. You can see all this, the summary with the burden of proof. Let's see if I can find it. In my medical opinion, at least as likely as not, the result of that. Again, your doctor needs to agree with that. And then you have a chance for the different credentials right here, signed and dated, and it is ready to go. Okay, so right here, this is the document that was referenced in our Nexus letter. You can see it is a meta-analysis of risk factors. And you can see here, if I go back to it, let me find it. Meta-analysis of risk factors for that in 2015. So again, this is what really differentiates us between other AI companies, is that we actually took all this and we put it into our own knowledge bank, and we are using this. It's not something we use ChatGPT to go generate for us. This is something that we took the time and effort to create a useful database for veterans. Okay, and that is pretty much it. You are ready to go. You can submit yourself a Nexus letter to your doctor and then get that to the VA to hopefully get your claim approved. Again, if this is something that is helpful, we want to make sure that every veteran does have access to our system. We are not here to charge expensive fees to anybody. So if you need assistance with any kind of fees related to our service, you can always join our Discord, and we have a 3-month in Discord. And the reason we can do that is because we've had so much support from the veteran community. It is absolutely mind blowing. So you can always go here and get yourself a free month if you need it. And again, we do that because, again, I know that if I support the veteran community, you guys will support us. So speaking of that, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Share this with your friends. It helps out a ton. We are trying to get to 50,000 basically veterans by year end. So we got a little bit of work to do, but we're not too far off. Take care.